Good morning, everybody. That's better. Hey, OPAC, welcome. Good morning. Morning, Syphilis. So, we got a blank slate today because we just put out 6.4. So I do have some things on my list here, but we're relatively flexible at this point, which is great. Hey, Shades, welcome. Game room, good to see all you guys. It's lunchtime where you're at. Yeah, so you must be on the East Coast. Thank you, Shades. Good morning. 6:30 p.m. Yeah. Germany. Cool. All right. Hey, Closhing I'm not even gonna try. But welcome. Good morning, Sid. So, anybody? Let's take a look at what we got here. Uh, so Simply Austin. Let me start with this. Simply Austin. I just emailed him. We're talking back and forth about he's actually working on a rocket launcher tutorial right now, which is awesome. Hey, Doss, welcome. So Simply Austin's working on a rocket launcher tutorial, and we're trying to figure out the best and easiest way to set everything up. And I might need to add a few pieces here and there to help him out, or help the rocket launcher setup be as simple as possible. So I'm not sure if he's going to get back to me, but like I seriously just sent a response back to him via email. I got an email back from him, so he can't join right now. But I was wondering if he was going to join, and we could work through some of that stuff. But that's okay. He can't join, so that's fine. We'll do that stuff later, and then we can take a look at something else, some other stuff. But that's coming, so that's exciting. Finally get that rocket launcher tutorial going. Hey, Static Fade, welcome. All right, so let's take a look at these. You see rocket launcher there on top. We're not going to do that today. Platform images always being saved as JPEGs is a glitch. I need to integrate the Italian translation that I received, which would be quick, although we'll have a bunch of stuff to fix, but we won't do that today. Implement different image types for every platform. That's, in other words, saving um, a separate selected image type for each platform. Then we have the games database, submission comments, and then emailing people. And then, of course, LED Blinky. Making the random game videos play one right after the other. Fixing the issue where platforms, when you rename a platform right now, it doesn't move any of the images or videos over to the new platform. Which basically, what if you edit a game and you change the platform for that game, it just loses all its images and videos and manuals and everything, which isn't ideal at all. So that's something I need to tackle here soon. And then this is interesting, overwriting the metadata on updates. We just figured this out in the beta thread, but if you do a download metadata and updates wizard and you tell it to overwrite the metadata and you have a different platform name, it'll overwrite the platform name. And then we have sound packs and image packs. So that's what I have on my immediate list. I haven't, before I tackle stuff, I should also probably take a look at Bitbucket and look at the highest tickets on Bitbucket as well. Not Another thing I'm definitely going to want to do soon is attract mode. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to the list here. Alright, sorry, I've got some allergies this morning. Alright, let's see what we got. How about adding a confirmation to the shutdown function today? That's not a bad idea. It should be fairly simple. We can probably do that, OPEC. Shutdown confirmation. That's funny. Hey, Ellie. Vertical videos are still left aligned. Yeah, unfortunately. I don't know that I want to struggle through that one in a live stream, though, Stifilus, because I don't have a good solution. But I'll add that to my list here. Vertical videos left aligned. Viewbot, welcome. Database. I moderated over 1,000 in the last days and contributed some reworks and there were some really annoying moments. Sure. What's the most annoying parts right now, Viewbot? We could run to the database. I think I kind of want to wait till Monday maybe or something like that though. Kind of want to. I'd rather stick to the LaunchBox today, although we could do the database if everybody wants us to do the database. All right. So what do you guys think? What shall we work on? Hit me up. Theme editor. I'm actually planning on tackling that tomorrow, Stifilus. We have 6.4 out. I know I've been putting that off, and I'm sorry about that. We have BRB Scratcher. Welcome. I hope you didn't hurt yourself. So tomorrow, my goal is going to be the theme editor. I actually, I already have the plans for that. I just need to put out a package for it and a tutorial for it. So I'm going to see how far I get tomorrow on that stuff, Stifilus. I don't want to build that stuff. I already did a session where we figured all that stuff out in a live stream. So I don't really want to do that today in the live stream. But tomorrow is a good time to get that done. I know, yeah, that's a big priority because I've been promising that for a long time, and I'm excited about that too. Alright, Viewbot. Seeing no comments was the worst, followed by different names for the same game in the regions. Sure. So, the no comment thing should be fixed, right? If you're still seeing no comments, I need to know, because I fixed all that stuff, I thought anyways, and resent all those brand new games through. Which you probably already know, but just to confirm. And then different names for the same game in the regions, sure. So basically you're looking for the alternate name thing to be added as well, which we can do, but probably not today. Bugs in GamesDB. What bugs, Shades? Hey, Silent Hill. Yesterday were the last with rejections, and I only saw that there were rejections but no comment in there. Alright, I'll take a look at that. It's possible that they were relics from before. But yeah, if we're still getting rejections with no comments, then something isn't quite right on that. You're absolutely welcome, BRB. I appreciate that. Hey, DJ Quad, welcome. Nothing yet, Silent Hill. We're trying to decide what to work on. Yesterday I added some Windows games to LaunchBox. Isn't there an option to add a single game exe? Of course. Yeah. Go just click the add button in the bottom right or go to game add in the menu up top. Hello JK. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Welcome. We're hopping today. We got all kinds of people on. That's awesome. New people. Well, welcome everybody. Um, so Sure, but you can also go to the game menu and there's an add menu item in the game menu too. Thanks, Doss. Cool. Awesome, JK. Don't worry about it, OPEC. All right. So we have had 2 votes for the games database, which surprised me. So if I don't get any other votes, that's what I'm going to end up doing, guys. Any chance nested filters will be worked on soon? Not in any rush. Still adding stuff to my library. Nested filters, as far as in the sidebar, I assume is what you mean in LaunchBox itself. How do you add a new platform to the database? Right now, that's not something users can do, that's something we're going to be doing manually. There are a lot of platforms that aren't on there that I need to add. Thankfully, it's really easy to add them. I just need to go ahead and do it. So that would be quick to do if you guys want to. I mean, if it'd be, I just need to come up with a list and then add them in batch is all. But it's easy to add platforms for me. It's just a matter of running a SQL line is all. Different picks for different emulators. Can you explain that, Static Fade? So in Big Box, I could go to PlayStation RPGs. I see. So you want that in Big Box, a second filter. Sure, that makes sense. That's been yeah, that's going to take some design work to figure out how we're going to design that out. And that's also a major job, but that is something that is a relatively common request. And I think that's a highly voted ticket on Bitbucket. Let's pull up Bitbucket, by the way. Image per platform, sure. Image type per platform, I assume is what DOS76 means, which is on my list. Acid, welcome. How to become master coder who could give their son a small loan of $1 million. Well, you know, I can't really solve that one for you, Acid. I have a big ticket out there for the Games DB. Where's your ticket, Shades? DJ War. Thanks for the release yesterday. Is there a way to stop getting the second pop-up warning when deleting a game? No, not currently. I don't really want I don't want people accidentally deleting this stuff. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna add an option to remove that. I want you can, if you want to delete multiple games, you can always select multiple games and then delete them all at once. Um, is it popping it up for every single game when you do that though? I think it might be, but that's okay. I don't I don't want people to have an accident, so to speak. Hey Vissy, welcome. Static Fade, RetroArch versus the individual emulators. That's a big, long, drawn out conversation. There's actually lots of discussion on that about that on the forums. Um, and as far as I'm concerned, the main reason why why I like to use RetroArch where I can is just that I only have to configure things once, and everything just works for other platforms. It's not always that simple, and sometimes I want to, shoot myself in the head working with RetroArch, especially like lately. I've had some major issues with the latest versions. Um, but I'm quick to jump to a different emulator if I have troubles, as long as another emulator has all the features I need. But sometimes RetroArch is the only emulator that has all the advanced features that you need, which is another reason to use RetroArch. Um, Ali, maybe something that allows each. I'm confused. I'm not sure what that means. Each theme. Oh, maybe something that allows each theme to have its own console images. Sure. So image packs. That's on my list too. That one request I had the other day, it's on your list. I don't remember what that was, Static Fade, but that's good if it's on my list. Image and sound packs, sure. A genre option like Hyperspin has would be cool for that. Not I. You have to Stiflis. You have to explain that for me. BRB, is there an option to have MP3 music always replacing the video clip audio? No, but that has been requested. I think there's a ticket for that. But no, right now you can't play the video and the music at the same time. Um, but that's on the list for me to implement. Okay, let me pull up this link. Whoa. So Shades, you're gonna hate me, but the only way we can use Bitbucket effectively is if we have separate tickets for each change. And the reason for that is because, like, I haven't even read through all this stuff, but it's impossible to track it if it's all in one ticket. For games that are sold, links to where they are sold. Let me pull this over. Sure. There's some great ideas here. To be obviously, of course. I mean, the only issue is like implementing all this stuff would take me like a week. So we need to separate it out into separate tickets. So a week of like full-time development, seriously. So we need to separate it out into separate tickets so that I can track that stuff. Otherwise, we're just going to get lost and um, everything's going to get buried. So I'm sorry to create all that work for you, but there's a reason why we put in the instructions that we need separate tickets for everything, because otherwise users can't vote on the stuff, and we can't track whether something is done. We can't comment on the particular separate things. So unfortunately we have to have separate tickets for every single little task. All right, where are we at here? The controller features make it better just alone. What do you mean by that, DOS? Okay. Silent Hill. Another ticket with a bunch of stuff in it. Is this, and this is in LaunchBox. This is in the games database. Okay. Yeah, a lot of these are duplicates, and we already have tickets for Silent Hill. The search function, view favorites, rate games. Yeah, definitely. Delete games, sure. And parental lock, sure. Yeah, to be honest, I think most of those we already have tickets for. So most of those are duplicates, but all good ideas and all stuff we need to do soon for sure. All right. Yeah, I'm not worried about. Well, I mean, it's still people still make mistakes, DJ War, and so I don't really want to provide the option to remove that. To be honest, no, even myself, I'm a developer, and I'll have a slip of the wrist or something and accidentally press the wrong button, and I don't want ROMs disappearing from people's machines. Visi, just an idea for LaunchBox and Big Box. Maybe add a bar at the top which goes from A to Z. When you click a letter, it only shows games starting with that letter. Well, Big Box has something similar to that already, although it jumps to it. It doesn't just filter it. Paste bin would be a good option for this list. Most people can vote on it. I'm not following all the conversations that are going on now, guys. Silent Hill search function in Big Box by keyboard. It would make things so much easier to navigate. Yeah, I hear you there. It's silly that you have a desktop version but not in Big Box. I like the first letter scrolling. I think it's a good start, but it'll also be convenient for players like me who have both the keyboard and controller handy on the couch and have both for easy accessibility. It'd be super nice just to type in Mario and poof, all the games with the title Mario appear. I can see that for sure. RetroArch, I typed it a while ago. Who's at my door? Well, I'm happy for you, but I'm streaming, Reese, okay? Alright. Keyboard search feature. Thank you, Silent Hill. I love you all too. I really do. Alright. So, I'm still at a loss, as we've had so many things coming through, of course. So, what should we work on? Uh, the search feature has been a common request. Alright. So, apparently, we all want search in Big Box. Okay. I can do that. Um, the how if we do the search feature, how important is it to have an on-screen keyboard? Syphilis, any plans for separate databases or an easy to navigate database editor? Can you do you mean separate files per platform? Is that what you're getting at with the LaunchBox XML? Or are you talking like Hyperspin style databases? Okay, so separating out the platform XML. Uh, that is still um, I honestly, in my head, you guys can always change what's going on in my head, but in my head, that's not a high priority right now. But I don't know. It depends on what the community wants, you know. Um, an easy to navigate database editor. What do you mean by that, Stiflis? That makes sense, Fubot. Yeah, the on-screen keyboard is the part about search that's going to take an extra long time. So that's the part that I mean, it's relatively easy to put in a search into Big Box. It's the problem is the on-screen keyboard. So it's something we can do. It's just going to take a long time because I got to design out the graphical elements of the keyboard. Sure, Sid would need the on-screen keyboard. Very important for an on-screen keyboard. Yeah, of course. So, so perhaps we should start tackling the on-screen keyboard, huh? All right, all right. So it's gonna take us a while, guys, to do the search, but we can do that. Eva, I'm streaming. You need to leave me alone. I'm sorry. Cool Stiflus. So I think, yeah, it all comes down to how many people are voting on. I am going to check out the Bitbucket tickets here. Is the search feature high up on the list? I think it might be if we sort by votes. So we have the region ticket on top, which has been partially implemented. Let me drag this over. Region ticket on top, which has been partially implemented. We have attract mode, which is the number 2 request, and that is, well, actually, there's a bunch of them tied for number 2. Attract mode, which is definitely planned for soon. That's a big job, but I'm excited about that one. So we'll definitely be doing that one soon. Nested filters is another thing we just talked about. Steam video download for some reason is number 4. I guess that makes sense for Steam games. So I don't know if that's even, honestly, I still don't even know if that's possible, but I'll take a look at that at some point here. Well, is search anywhere on this list. Search for games in Big Box. So yeah, it's way down on the list. So I'm sort of betraying my Bitbucket votes by jumping to this one. But, you know, why not? I agree we need it. Let's do it. Yeah, what you see behind me actually is the the cover for the collector's edition strategy guide for the latest Doom. Riot. Alright, I need to catch up on more comments here. When highlighting a game edit, how about having an option set image as default? I'm not quite following that, DJ War. So on editing a game, oh, well, we added all those image priorities. So if we do that, then it's going to have separate logic than all the image priority stuff, which just complicates things further. Is the only issue with that. But we need region prioritization yet, so that needs to happen as well. Yeah, it's not bad. It helps. The strategy guide helps a lot for like finding all the classic levels and stuff like that. Honestly, it's more fun to see. The thing is with Doom, it's just so iconic and it's such a huge thing in my nostalgic past that, you know, when a new Doom game comes out, I got to pick everything up. But as far as it's definitely more fun to play the game without the strategy guide. But so I think what I'm gonna do is just finish, because I've been going like painstakingly slowly through it, collecting everything, and honestly, it's not as much fun as if I just storm through it. So I'm gonna storm through it and then come back and collect everything later, I think. Anyways. Having all the region covers and it displaying the wrong box art. Yeah, that is an issue right now. There's no way right now to prioritize North America or prioritize Europe, which is on my list. Region priorities for the covers. Sure. Well, that's a lot easier, guys. We want to tackle that instead of the big box search. That is also more of a, it seems like that would be, I don't know. You'd think that it feels like that would be a smarter thing to do. It's also not near as much fun. Man, we got to get busy though. We got to start working on something. I think we still got more votes for search. So let's do the search. I got to figure out how to build an on-screen keyboard. So anyways, first things first, what if, I don't know, WPF on-screen keyboard. maybe if we're really lucky, somebody's already done this. Hey, 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 hey. Okay, so this is ugly, but that can hopefully always be fixed. This might make things a lot easier. The best thing I found. What's this question? Oh, that's not really what I want. So we could, in theory, but if we use the built-in Microsoft on-screen keyboard, it's going to be tricky as far as control, because like you've got to then send messages out to Windows itself in order to make the controls on your arcade cabinet, which are mapped, custom mapped, work to control the keys instead of the mouse, and that's going to be tricky. Believe it or not, Windows 7 has an on-screen keyboard, but that's another good point. Another problem with that is they look different between Windows 7 and Windows 10 and all the Windows versions. So I think we're not going to do the built-in on-screen keyboard. Static fade, I do want to do that eventually. Believe it or not, I want to add voice controls soon at some point. No worries, Shades. I appreciate that. The 32X on-screen keyboard is disgusting looking. What do you mean by 32X? Yeah. Well, it's interesting because I have a whole big application that already handles all the voice control that I wrote while LaunchBox was in its infancy, and it was called HT Speak, and it works. It's just it does need a little bit of care yet, but it actually works. So maybe. I mean, it wouldn't take me more than a day to implement voice control at this point. I have all the code I need, to be completely honest with you guys. So if that's a hot item, heck, why not? It's easy. It's not hard. It uses the same technology that Kinect does, actually. It uses the Microsoft voice recognition engines, and it even has speech voice synthesis, so it can talk back to you and everything. I should demo that someday. Well, no, I just implement it in Big Box. Why not? Yeah, yeah. Well, and at one point, even I actually even integrated HT Speak into LaunchBox. So I already built that and never released it. So yeah, you could say anywhere on your desktop you didn't even have to have LaunchBox open, and I built it so that you could say play this game, and you would say basically it would always be open where it would say you would say to the computer anytime you said the word computer and stopped. In other words, it wouldn't work. Say if you're saying computer in passing like that, it wouldn't pick up on it. But if you said computer, then it would come back to you and it would say yes, and you would be presented with a list of commands, and you could say play Grand Theft Auto 5, and it would play Grand Theft Auto 5. So yeah, I already built like all of that stuff. It's just been in sort of development limbo, because I put it aside. I was planning on actually creating a separate paid product, and then LaunchBox just took off, and I'm like, okay, back to LaunchBox. Forget this. Uh, so yeah, there's all kinds of potential there. Back talking LaunchBox. I use voice control, said no one ever. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, it is really nice. I set it up on my living room TV though. Okay, so imagine this: your kids are watching TV. You don't have to go find a remote. You don't have to go do anything. You can literally just say, "Computer, turn off TV," and the TV turns off. So I mean, there's I had it set up in my living room, and it was extremely convenient, to be honest with you. So if well, when you're a programmer, I mean, you can set it to make it do whatever the heck you want, which is really really nice. So if there's a particular thing you want it to do, you just you build it in there and it works. All right. Anyways, Launchbox, make America great again. Oh no. Car, tablet, yeah, that'd be neat. Say the name of the system every time you switch to a new system. Sure, we could do that. Yeah, that could be done relatively easily. Please lock that feature with parental control. That's funny. Make me a pizza. All right. So we have this WPF keyboard control here, which has promise from what I can tell. We need to look at the license first and foremost. Hey, it's MIT. That's great. MIT is a wonderful license because it has zero restrictions. Basically, we can take this code and integrate it directly into Big Box with no licensing concerns whatsoever. So that's great. Um, so perhaps we have our on-screen keyboard solution here. No comment, DOS76, but yeah, I'm not gonna go into politics. Yes, I will. Trump is horrible. Are you kidding? Then again, so is Hillary, so we're all screwed. Anyways, OPAC. Error wall to Mexico not found. Yeah, the keyboards. Thankfully, this seems like. Well, the only issue is obviously we're going to have to retheme this thing, and hopefully it works relatively well. The other issue is it going to? I see English and Russian there. But is it going to work well for other people's languages? Obviously, I don't want to hard code English and Russian, so we'll see what happens here. Let's go ahead and download it. It's pretty exciting. And also, I mean, we should do another. We should do more of a search. Here's a separate one: a touchscreen keyboard control in WPF. That's interesting. Well, we have some separate options. I think I'm going to go ahead and use this one though for starters and see how it goes. Okay, we'll extract this guy. So there is our package. Not a whole lot here, which is good. N unit. Oh, that's testing, I think. So we shouldn't need that in theory. Term controls. Interesting. And tests. Well, let's give this a shot. Let's open up the solution. Come on. What would happen if you were already using a touchscreen monitor? Um, as far as what do you mean there, Rincewind? Would two keyboards show up? Oh, I see. That's a good question. You know what? I don't think so. Largely, well, it depends on how we implement the search and the typing. If we, yeah, I don't know. That's a really good question, Rincewind. By the way, guys, Rincewind is the amazing, awesome person that donated all his time. He's a professional designer, and he designed our bar top arcade for us, which is extremely exciting. By the way, that's all been done, and sent that over to Monster Arcades, and Keith over at Monster Arcades is going to be building it in the next 3 weeks. Breakwind. So, but anyways, yeah, he's awesome. So thanks again, Rincewind, for that. I'm really excited about that. Yeah, we'll have to test for that though, for sure. I do have a touchscreen tablet, or actually, it's a touchscreen laptop I can use to test that. But the trick there is you kind of need a tablet, not a laptop, because you need something without a keyboard attached. Yeah, we'll have to test that. I'm not sure. That's a good question. There is a way to stop that from happening, though, I'm sure. It's just a matter of figuring it out. Yeah, me too, Rincewind. I'm ecstatic. So I think it's gonna be 3 weeks, according to Monster Arcades. It's gonna be 3 weeks yet to get the machine built, and then another week or so to ship it. So hopefully in a month we'll have it, which would be super exciting. Anyways, the on-screen keyboard. Let's figure out what we got here with our XAML. Nah. Well, fine. Let's build it and run it and see what we get. Oh, interesting. Okay, just had to be built. All right. So it's using term controls on screen keyboard. This is just the app, and so term controls has all the has the actual control. Yeah, I hear you there. There's all kinds of good options in Europe, but I chose Monster Arcades just because I liked the design of their cabinet the best. It looks awesome. It's really, really sweet looking. I just like the structure of it better than most of the others. Interesting. So as far as like making these black, because well, we wouldn't have to make it dark. This might work as is. I'm not sure. But the other thing is, it needs to work with like with the joystick, so that you can navigate between the letters, which isn't going to happen right out the gate here, I'm expecting. So we're going to want to integrate this code directly into Big Box, so it's easy to change because we're going to be changing it a lot, I would imagine. Let's go ahead and run it though. See what we get. What on earth is all this? I keep seeing that, but I really don't. This development's something. Whatever. So yeah, you can type, but is there any way? Okay, so yeah, you can navigate. That's exciting. It's ugly the way it works, and for some reason, it doesn't pick up on everything, but it does work. For example, I'm hitting it like 3 times and it's only moving once or twice, which is going to be super annoying unless we fix that. And we have the language pack thing. Worst case scenario with the language pack stuff is we just remove that button, and it's English only. But obviously that's not ideal either. But I'll take a look at that. This looks to be hard-coded, guys. Not much there. Okay, well that's cool. They're just using images for the buttons, so it's easy to change the look. That's good. So this promise here, it's not perfect, but it's a start. I don't know. The thing is, if we start on the solution, we're stuck with it. That's the thing. So maybe we should look at some other stuff. It does look like a good solution, sans for the English-Russian thing. And then also, the other thing I don't like is that it's great that the keyboard navigation actually works to be able to go between the letters with the arrow keys. That's great. That means it's going to be relatively easy to implement that with the joystick. The problem is though, for some reason I'm pressing twice in between every single move. Oh, that's weird too. It highlighted yeah, so it's not perfect, but it's not too bad. So, I don't know. Interesting. Seems like it would be a decent solution. And we just hide the Russian thing and make it only English at first anyways, if we went with this. Then Touch keyboard support. That's the other thing, is that touch keyboard support would be nice, but that's not the main goal. So touch keyboards, because you're not with one of these touch keyboards. They're made for touch. They're made for the mouse or the finger. They're not going to work for a joystick. That's just straight up not going to work unless we figure out how to add and tap into that logic. I don't think you can. Well, I wonder if I can load up the Windows on-screen keyboard. Okay, yeah, I can. So here is the on-screen keyboard, and we press E, for example. But you'll notice as I arrow between I'm pressing the arrow keys, and it has no. This keyboard, you can't take focus with this keyboard. So it would be impossible for us to use this particular keyboard with a joystick, unless we had the joystick control the mouse cursor, but that's a terrible idea. So yeah, this isn't even an option. We can't use the built-in Microsoft stuff as far as I know, because this is only meant for touch. So that narrows that down. Yeah, that would be really nice to be able to use the on-screen keyboard, because then different languages are supported out of the out of the gate and all that stuff. But that's not going to happen. So we're going to be doing it ourselves somehow. Okay, here's another one. I'm not sure which of these are duplicates. Yeah, we've already done those. Okay. So we got a couple other possibilities here. Touchscreen. Reusable control toolkit for individual developing a touchscreen application. WPF. License. The Microsoft public license. I'm not sure about the Microsoft public license. Yeah, this is too restrictive anyways. I don't want to use it. Software virtual keyboard for your WPF apps. They've got a language drop down here. Although this is Code Project. Their stupid Code Project license. Yeah, more Microsoft public license crap. So I'd have to look to see if we could even use this stuff in Big Box. Because Big Box is a paid app, and some of these licenses are cancer. But I like the drop down here as far as, but also it's well, let's see if it's going to be perfect or something. Yeah. Oops. Okay. So here's this one. It's way old. I guess we'll see. At least you can steal the letters. Isn't hardware input disabled for security reasons? Hey, Stevoid. Can you explain what you mean by that? Hardware input disabled? We're doing it live. Wouldn't it be better to make your own keyboard in the menu? What do you mean in the menu? Key logging. Oh, sure. Well, that doesn't mean there's a difference. Yeah, there might be security implications, but thankfully, I don't think so. .NET actually makes it really easy to simulate key presses, and that's all we need to use. There's no difficulty in telling a computer application to press a key, to simulate a key press. I think the other way around, probably, but we're not trying to get low-level access to the keyboard or the hardware. All we're trying to do is just to fake a key press in these situations, so it's no big deal. Okay, it's over here apparently. There it is. Let's start it up and see what we get. Yeah, that figures. So do they have a test app at all? No, probably not. Maybe, yeah, it looks like they do, maybe. Now are they all class libraries? Probably. Yeah. They don't have any test apps, so in order to make this happen, we'd have to drag it over to a new project and all that crap. Oh yeah, I mean, that's the thing, Opaque, but it helps if we can, if we don't have to build that window. That window is not easy to build, and there's more to it than just, yeah, I mean, I could build it myself. It's just, to be honest, guys, it wouldn't be that difficult to do. I'm more concerned about the WPF layout. So maybe we can find a layout and then just build it ourselves. That's not a bad idea. But of course, the other complication is the different language packs. There's no way I'm going to custom build a keyboard for all the different languages. You know, that would just take forever and it'd be a horrible, annoying job. So those are the two pieces that I'm kind of iffy about. If we stuck to English, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal. We just need the XAML to actually show the keyboard, display the keyboard. Sure. BRB. I'd have to look at what that is. I use the Xbox PS4 keyboard. No, that's not what I want. On-screen keyboard. Sure. Makes sense. Anyways. Yeah, that would be, honestly, that's kind of the ideal look there. Well, but yeah, it would be nice. Well, I should show you what I'm looking at. So here we have like an on-screen keyboard. It would be really nice to be able to do all the Xbox and the PlayStation functions where a particular button is mapped for back and all that stuff, because that really helps when you type. But it's a lot more difficult when you don't have control over what controller people are using and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I'm not sure if that's going to be feasible or not, but I mean, we can give that kind of stuff a shot. But this actually, I like the way this, I really like the way this looks and how it works and all that stuff. It's just a matter of building that whole setup. But that's the kind of the look that I would like to go for. It matches big box. You know, it's attractive. Question is, how long would it take me to build that? And then also, of course, there's no other language support. If we built it ourselves, there is no other language support. I kind of like that idea though. We'd probably have a cleaner solution if I just built it all myself. And it is just a grid, so it's not like it's going to be that hard to implement. What the heck? Let's do it. Why not? Let's get moving on it. Is anybody like heartbroken over not having separate language support for this stuff? That's my only thing, you know. The code man. Yes. What do you mean yes? What are you answering yes to? Welcome, code man. Yeah, of course. Game room. Well, what we would do for if we implemented all this little stuff is you'd be able to map the buttons. English all the way. You don't need the other languages. You can open up the special characters in a submenu. Well, that's the other thing. A submenu like that is a whole lot more work. So the initial version of this on-screen keyboard is not going to have that kind of stuff. If you look at like this that he's got going, I mean, you've got. I mean, he doesn't even have. Yeah, he doesn't have anything. Maybe if you hit Shift, let's go ahead and start this up. So if you hit Shift, okay. So on his keyboard here, you hit Shift and you get all the the different character options. So we'll implement something like that, but there's no way I'm gonna add all the custom characters and all that stuff. That's not likely to happen, at least with V1. So we should make that clear. Hey Matt 4950, welcome. Yeah, I would agree. I don't think we need the language support right out the gate, and we can add the stuff later. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Well, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna do this myself. Screw using somebody else's code. We might get some ideas from this guy though, potentially. All right, so in Big Box, first thing we're gonna do is create a new view. Um, yeah, we've talked way too much this morning. There went an hour and we haven't even built anything yet. All right, so I'm gonna add a new view here. It's a user control is what I need, and we're gonna call this keyboard view. Excuse me. And I'm going to pull up this image on my other monitor here so we can take a look at it. We're going to need ultimately so we have a grid on the outside. I don't know that I want to use a grid here. On the outside, what do we have? Like a dock panel or something. No, that's not really what we want. What the heck? We'll use a grid. Well, we can always surround it by something later, so let's just start with the actual letters, or the actual keys. So As far as what we should use for the actual buttons, the controls, um, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe labels. That would probably work. But let's start by well, what do we already have something similar in the pin stuff. So for these, I'm using text blocks. So we'll continue to do that since I already know how to do this. And we already have something similar in the pin pop-up. So ultimately, we'll be doing something very similar to this. Just taking a look at some of these. I mean, I can copy some of this stuff. Copy that right there. That's useful. Okay, and then in here, grid dot. We'll start with rows. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of buttons. Although potentially, yeah, we'll keep that for now. Grid.rows. No. I forgot how it works here. Row definitions. And they're all evenly spaced, so what we can do is row definition height equals, and make them all the same. Height equals, let's just do 20 star, and then we don't need, there we go. So we need 5 more of those. There's 6, so we have our 6 rows. And then each row will have its own grid of keys. Or I guess we could use row span potentially. Yeah. I guess we can try and do that here first. I'm not sure. Not sure how that would work. We'll see. Grid.column definitions. We're going to have, looks like 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so there's 10 different columns. And of course, they're all the same width. So column definition width, width equals, it doesn't matter, 20, same deal. And we'll need 9 more of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, what's it saying is invalid though? Oh. Alright. As far as, let's make this 600 for starters. So there's our keyboard, except I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. Let's make the height 200. This actually doesn't, the size of it can be adjusted after the fact. That's only the design width. But as we're working on it, that'll be a good way to be able to see it. And then in each, we just have to define the actual keys. There's our whole grid set up. Now it's just a matter of defining the keys. We're just going to throw text blocks in each of them. Some of them will have will span multiple columns like the space bar. Let's go for it. So start with the one key. We're going to add a text block. Anything special we do in these? We add the text, foreground white, and then the alignments. Some of this stuff we should probably throw in a style, but we'll do that later. Whoops. Name, I'm not sure if we need names on these. I'm not going to put names on them right now. Text 1, foreground white, horizontal alignment, vertical alignment, center. It's a good start. And then the only other thing we need is grid.row equals 1 or 0, and grid.column equals 0, which puts it in that particular spot. And then I'm just going to copy this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0, and the column needs to change 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and there we have our top row of keys. Obviously, ideally we'll want to put like spaces in between them and stuff like that potentially, but I think we can do that after the fact, I hope. So yeah, it's not going to be too long to build out the layout. That's cool. Let's check up on comments here. Codeman, sorry if this is off topic. Is there any easy way I can organize my rounds to prioritize USA but keep PAL and Japanese exclusives? Yes and no. The best, well, it depends on the system, the platform you're working with. The best way to do that is to filter out the ROMs before you put them in LaunchBox right now. And there are all kinds of great tools for that. Really, what I would do if I was in your situation, I'd go find a no intro ROM set, and you're covered. That's basically all you need. No intro. Go get a no intro ROM set, and you're good to go. Anyways, but there's also, I mean, the good tools, stuff like that can really help as well. If you wanna, so filter out your ROMs before you import them into LaunchBox is the best way to do that. Shades, if the buttons were images built, for example, in Photoshop, maybe the file could be shared with translators and they could add the characters for you and send them back. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot more to it though than just images, because even layouts are completely different on foreign keyboards. So it's quite an undertaking. It wouldn't work just to get different images from the translators, unfortunately. German languages need 7-8 additional characters. They're not that important. Interesting. Okay. Hyper search for reference. I like the video and the results displayed at 345. Hyperspin ROM sets. I'm going with QWERTY. I'm sorry, OPAC. I gotta go with QWERTY. It drives me nuts when keyboards aren't QWERTY. That's what everybody knows, and I gotta take a cue from Xbox and PS4. That's gotta be the we're gonna do what they do. Sure. Yeah, you might have some trouble there, Codeman, for obscure systems. But yeah, give the hyperspin stuff a shot. I got a question for you guys though on the hyperspin XMLs. So what do I do if I want to get a hyperspin database? And this is just like in theory, talking going forward. Syphilis especially. What do I do if I want to get a hyperspin database without any duplicates that prioritizes for arcade? All right, so for MAME, take MAME for example. I want a hyperspin database, a hyperspin XML file that uh, has no duplicates, no duplicate games at all, prioritizes North America, um, skips the crap, skips like the fruit games and all that junk, um, but actually is a decent database that's sort of like no intro, prioritizes North America, but gives me everything. Um, how do I do that? I can't figure out how to get a hyperspin database like that. Um, because if I and does that exist? I know in hyperspin you can go and show only don't show clones, but that's not what I want. I want clones in some situations. Makes sense on the English support, Codeman. JX, this is C sharp. This is WPF C sharp stuff. So C sharp and C sharp is also the language I recommend if you're getting started. With every release, there are databases for MAME that are filtered out. Yeah, and you download those databases. So if you download a Hyperspin XML database for MAME, you look through the XML and there's millions of duplicates in there. It's just covered in duplicates because they include everything. So the question is, how do you filter those out? That's the problem. Is it's not like no intro where they give you only one ROM. Uh, at least for MAME, they give you everything, tons and tons of stuff. So every game is like 3 duplicates for all the various versions. So how do you can send me a filtered out arcade database, Syphilis? I'd appreciate that. I want to know how you build it. How are people building it? Because my impression, when we first start talking about this stuff, and I'm excited about using the Hyperspin databases and potentially creating our own database and basing it off the Hyperspin data, and then I looked into, for example, the database for MAME, and I'm like, well, there's all these duplicates. What do I do about that? I need to know how people are dealing with that problem. And the best I could figure out uh, when I was looking online is that people just tell Hyperspin to only show non-clones, which is sort of a solution, but it's not really the best solution. If you want a database for Hyperspin like that, I only can say that you have got a lot of work ahead of you. That's what I was kind of afraid of. That's kind of what I figured. So in that sense, I got to be honest. I was disappointed. I thought the Hyperspin databases would work a lot better than that. Because I thought, and maybe they do for some other platforms. Maybe they do for console platforms, but for MAME, it's not clean. It's not a good experience. Nobody wants 3 copies of Pac-Man in their wheels. So it's interesting. It is nice when you download the Hyperspin databases. Um, you get 3 different database options. You get there's the one with everything. There's the one without like casino games, and then there's the one without casino games and the porn games, which is great. That's awesome. That's a good start. But you still have all the duplicates in there, and so I'm trying to figure out like what the best source of data online is right now for the perfect set, even if it's just the North American perfect set of MAME stuff. And yes, you can calculate all this stuff out with so many various tools, and actually LaunchBox will actually do that too, and it gets it very, very close. But if we had a perfect database, which apparently doesn't exist, but if we had a perfect database, that's what we're going for, obviously. And even if it's only for North American people, it's still, because it prioritizes everything North America, that's still a huge win. So that's, I don't know. I'm just tired of everything being so freaking difficult. And my goal with LaunchBox is easy, easy, easy. I want everything as easy as possible, you know. So I want a perfect list of all the MAME games, no duplicates. That is ideal. And I thought I was going to get that with the Hyperspin databases, but I don't, which surprises me. That threw me for a loop. It's interesting. Let me read these comments here. Where am I at? But anyways, I'm not trying to bash anything. I'm just saying I was thrown for a loop with that. So oh, nice. Sid just dropped me a MAME XML. Oh, that's beautiful. Very cool, Sid. Thank you. So we're looking at the link that Sid just dropped has a whole bunch of different options in here. So perhaps this is this is just somebody's manual creation, maybe from Peter Holshoff, Project Retribution. This looks handy. Looks very handy. Thank you, Sid. Holshoff also offers MAME databases without clones. That's great. Hey, why wouldn't you want 3 versions of Pac-Man in your list? I think the XMLs for other systems are clean. I didn't notice too much junk when I used other systems besides Arcade. I see. So Arcade, obviously, yeah, it makes sense. Arcade is the complicated one. But, so I don't, yeah, and for all other consoles, Hyperspin prioritizes USA, followed by Europe and Japanese. Okay, gotcha. So it's really only MAME that's a problem. That makes sense. It's all personal preference. The only way to get a setup you really like with any front end is to do it on your own. It's what I've done. It has taken me weeks on end to get everything to my liking. That makes sense, but not everybody's with you on that game room. And LaunchBox, I'm still convinced I can make LaunchBox easy enough where somebody can easily get a perfect collection of anything up and running with minimal effort. That's my goal. And yes, if you want to tweak all kinds of stuff and change what ROMs are showing up and all kinds of stuff like that, yeah, you're going to have to tweak it yourself if you're picky. But if you're not picky and you just want a pretty collection, that should be relatively easy to do. Thank you, Stiflis. I think we got a good set here though with this Holshoff collection, but I haven't checked it in detail. Jackify, what are some of the first things you started to code? I've installed cold blocks and did a tiny bit of HTML. So far, in my opinion, coding HTML is super easy compared to cold blocks. HTML is kind of script. It's not really programming. Programming is really quite different than HTML, which is it makes sense why. I'm not really familiar with code blocks, but it makes sense why code blocks is more complicated for you. If you want to learn to program, HTML can be a good start, but it's not programming. It's just, it's basically styling ultimately. There's nothing dynamic in HTML is kind of the point. When you start doing JavaScript, then you're programming. Gotcha. Stiflis, you just linked me to the same place that Critical Sid did above, which is awesome. So it's good to know. I have this good set. I couldn't find it, so I really appreciate that, guys. That's awesome. It's good to know that that exists. Take your pick. Yeah, gotcha. Adding hyperspin databases would be an awesome 6.5 release. Not plugging in hyperspin. I've moved to LaunchBox, but their databases go through a lot of testing and work and are very complete. Yeah, there's more work going into the hyperspin databases than anything else I've seen. Which is why I was thrown back when I downloaded the main database and it's got so many duplicates in it. But I guess that makes some sense because it's just a complicated platform. Um, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah, I've wanted to do that, to be honest. Um, so that's planned. We are going to do the hyperspin thing. Although I'm not sure how that's going to look. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to implement XMLs or what at this point. We'll have to figure that out. And it's not top priority right now, but it is up there. So anyways, that's that. Let's move back to the code here and keep going. Sorry about that tangent, guys. I appreciate all you guys filling me in on that stuff, though. I'm not all that knowledgeable as far as how all that hyperspin stuff works, so I really appreciate you guys filling me in on that stuff. Sorry if I came off as negative. That certainly was not my intention. Um, but I was frustrated yesterday because I was trying to figure out how do I get a perfect MAME XML database, and now I have my answer. So thank you guys. All right, so the second row here. Um, by the way, it's good to see that we're back up in viewer count. We're back up to 29 in the viewer count. For a while there, we were down to 10, 20 people in the on the streams. So it's great to see that we're moving up in the world again with the streams. I think what happened ultimately was I changed the times and it really messed up uh, the live streams. So I'll try not to do that again, but we'll see. Okay, so we just need more text blocks. And I think I'm going to copy this entire thing here and paste it. And we will ultimately just change the row to 1 on all of these. And it'll move them down. And we just need to change the actual values to match. And the values for the second row, where's my image? There it is. I've got a keyboard right in front of me. You know, I probably should do that, but whatever. So we have this is QWERTY. QWERTY UIOP. We're getting there. It's ugly, but we will make it prettier. That's easy to do after we got all this stuff laid out. And we're going to copy that line again and paste it, and we'll make everything row 2. There it is. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Now ASDF GHJKL. ASDF GHJKL and dash. Interesting. That's not typical keyboard stuff, but that's okay. We'll copy PS4 here. We'll do what they're doing. Okay, and then the next row, paste it again. This is going to be 3. And ZXCV wondering if I should make these like lowercase. That's okay. We'll get to that later. ZXCVBNM. At symbol, the dot, period, and the underscore. Okay, and then the next line is where it gets interesting because we have the space bar and all that stuff that spans multiple items. And symbols and all that stuff. So we are going to have to customize this layout a little bit here. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do yet. So this is going to change, but for now I'm going to make these all 4. Okay, and this is going to be shift, I think. And maybe make that grid dot row span equals 2. Nope, it's call span equals 2 that I need. Maybe, I thought. Yeah, there it is. Text equals shift. Something like that. And then I'm going to leave this one blank for now. And then this is going to be the space bar. And it's a column span of 4. Okay. And delete the next 3. And then we have a blank one. And then this is going to be delete. And delete that one and add a column span equals 2. Something like that. Whoops. That's a start. And then the last line is funky as well. I'm not sure what we're going to do for everything on the last line, but we'll get there. Let's ultimately, and they're going to do another paste. And the row is going to be 5 for all these. And we have the down arrows, and I'm not sure what I'm going to use character-wise for like the symbol representations of the arrows. So we'll have to come back to that. I really don't know what to put in most of these at this point. The only thing I know is that we want done on the end, and it should be column span of 2. There. So it's a start. Let's check the comments here. Jackify, I'm not sure that our stream is going to be the best place to learn. Typically, honestly, the best way to learn how to code is to start with a language that's relatively easy. I would start with Visual Basic. All right, so that's going to be the easiest place to start. Start with Visual Basic and create a new, download the free version of Visual Studio, create a new project, Windows Forms project, and start dragging controls onto a window and make it do something. That's the easiest way to get started in development. What you want to do is you want to just get your hands dirty. You want to get your feet wet. You just want to do it. The best way to learn how to program is to do it. And when you have a question, you search online, you find an answer, and you go back and you do it. And it's just a vicious circle. You figure out something you want to do, and you try and do it. Watching streams can help, absolutely, but it's not going to be nearly as effective as if you're just trying to do it yourself. But it sounds like you already are, so that's good. Since this keyboard won't be going online, you really don't need, yeah, those two characters. That's true. So we're going to want to tweak the keys differently than what we have here. This is the PlayStation 4 format, but it's a little bit different too. So yeah, we're going to want to change it up somewhat. How long have I been coding for? A very long time. At this point, 20 years. Not even kidding. I started coding when I was 12. So, and I'm 32. What's Ruby on Rails and is it different from Java? Yeah, it is very different from Java. I don't know Ruby on Rails very well, but Ruby is a completely different language than Java. Um, but yeah, it's different. Combined with Dolphin NetPlay and RetroArch NetPlay, we could have a LaunchBox online network with a friends list. Absolutely. That's stuff like that's not something I'm gonna shy away from. Once we hopefully we can get there. I think that'd be really cool. The other thing is retro achievements and all that stuff. Yeah, we definitely want to go there eventually. That's cool, Stifless. Spacebar static fade? What? I don't know what you mean. Oh, there is a spacebar there. You just can't see it. Sorry. Yeah, I added it, but it's since there's no text on it, you can't see it there. Yeah, absolutely. There's all kinds of cool options there, Code Man. It'd be really really neat. All right, so let's see if we can pretty this up a little bit. I'm not sure what the best way to do this would be. I'm thinking if I put padding on these particular. How do I do this? 5, 5, 5, 5. I think it's not stretching it though. Horizontal alignment, vertical alignment equals stretch. Horizontal alignment equals stretch. Okay, but then it's not. Text alignment equals center. Vert text. You'd have to make it difficult on me, wouldn't you, WPF? Text alignment equals center, but then how do I vertically center the text? my Visual Studio just lock up on me, really? I think it did. Great. That's awesome, Syphilis. I'll take it. First step to online play. Well, my Visual Studio crashed. I don't know what it's doing here. It's crashed, but it's not. That's so weird. The cursor's still blinking. Oh, you know what? My mouse died. No, that wouldn't make sense. The cursor's moving. But I still can't type either. I don't know. I don't friggin' know at all. Unless my keyboard's dead. No. That's weird. Let's close out of all this extra crap. Okay. Whatever, Visual Studio. There we go. Text. You know what? Oh, we have padding and margin. I didn't think about that. So that might help. Margin equals 5, 5, 5, 5. And then, yeah, so that fills the... And then as far as... Remove the padding, maybe. But then it's vertically aligned on top, of course. Now let's use this over here because I can't remember the order of them. If I can find the what I'm looking for. Layout, that's what I need. Oh, well no, that's already set. We have the margin, padding, finally. So top 5 pushes it down too much. 3, 2. It's not quite right, but and the other thing is as the size changes, it's not really properly centering it, so that sucks. That's probably not going to work. Bah. But then now that we have it sized decently, I think I'm going to change these to maybe 2. Oops. Of course, that changes the... We're going to have to nest these dumb things and add another control surrounding them. I don't know how else to deal with this, really. It's irritating. So then we can say background on these equals this is going to change, obviously. That's not what we want, but maybe pound FF111111. That's not quite bright enough. Something like that. So at least at that size, that looks halfway decent. And if we copied that across the board, it would probably make it look a lot better once we take off the, although obviously it doesn't quite look centered, so we'll need to work with that. But we're getting there. That helps at least. So if we do a search and replace here, copy that. Let's do a search and replace. We're going to replace it with this, and we want to replace this right here in the current document. Replace all. And yeah, there's our keyboard, guys. That's not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. And then if we put a we need more of a space around the edges, I think. So I'm going to say margin equals 3333, which gives us a little bit more of a space around the edges. Makes it look a little better. Not too bad. We just have to fill in the whatever other keys we want. And then we have the functionality that we need for like shift and all that stuff. Caps lock, you know, that kind of thing. But it's a good start. As far as the design, I think what I want to do next is try and just get this to display in a pop-up. We'll be using the pop-up type style in Big Box. So go to some actual code. Yeah, that's actually pretty attractive. Thank you, Codeman. I'm kind of surprised. It was easier than I thought it would be. Obviously, we got a lot of code to put in there, but that's really a pretty decent start. And actually, another nice thing about this is with the custom themes, we can allow people to customize the look of this all they want. So we'll be doing that as well. Hey EA, welcome. I don't need that in there. So next, I'm thinking here. We need to add some kind of shell to show this up on the screen. So let's load up Big Box and let's actually take a look at this for a second here. Yeah, Twitch is messing with my videos. Or that's just, I think that's VLC sometimes has that issue. Anyways, so the question is, where are we going to put the search? So, I mean, the cheapest way to do it would be to just add search in here. But that's, and then you would, and then pop up the box and type in the stuff. I'm not sold on that necessarily. Ideally, we would have a button to pop up the search anywhere, I think, and let you search in a particular group of games, so that if you were in, I don't think there's any, well, so if you were in here, it would search all the games, I guess. But if you were in, say, Super Nintendo, it would search just the Super Nintendo games, ideally. That stupid home button. I wish it was that. Well, here's the problem. Not everybody's got one of those controllers, so we have to be able to customize it to be whatever the user wants. And that home button is unfortunately very difficult to get at. Although I have that on my plate to add support for the home buttons for the buttons. The 360 controller, when Microsoft put that stuff together, they made it very difficult to be able to get at that home button, unfortunately. And it's also problematic because Steam and some other people try and use that as well. But anyways, so ideally we'd want to have a key, and I'm not sure I'm gonna do that right this instant. But ideally we'd want to have a button and a key setting to pop up the search, and no matter where you were, it would pop up the search box. I think that would be ideal. For now, I'm gonna add, knowing we're not gonna stick with just this. I'm gonna add a search function to this list here, and pop the box up on here. So let's start with that. You can see the search on the top right corner, but it only comes up in view when you go to the top right corner and make it a fade or in or a slide in. Well, the question is, how do you go to the top right corner? EA, with the mouse? Because most people don't use mouse with Big Box. I can see like going right, bringing it up though. That makes some sense. But we can't really do that because we're using that we're using right for the navigation in so many other ways. So yeah, I don't know. I think we'll probably stick with a button press, to be honest, just because it's easy. It's easier to customize, and you can set it up however you want. Although it's more intuitive to, yeah, have something that shows up on the interface. Alright, so my view models, we need the system view model, which is right here. And this is where we populate all our menu items. Where we should put it, I'm not sure. We have back, about, or lock, unlock, options. Let's add search right here. This dot menu items dot add new menu item view model. Strings dot label search, which we already have. That's great. New method menu action. This dot main view model dot search, which doesn't exist, but we'll add that. So in the main view model, We're going to add a method. This initialization stuff, input handling, on switch view. Put it right here. Public void search. Let's catch up here. Hey Frank, welcome. Yes, this is WPF. Correct. Maybe add the search function at the top of the alphanumeric navigation. Hey, that's not a bad idea at all. Yeah, I like that. That's smart. Thank you, Sid. Yeah, that's awesome. Unless, maybe that's what Codeman was already saying. But yeah, that's great. That's a great idea. We'll do that. Frank, you can leave now. It's not an emulator. Dude, it's not an emulator. You don't know what you're talking about, and I'm going to ban you. Good night. Leave us alone. Don't spread your hate here. Okay, the older I get, the less patience I have for fools. Goodness sakes. Bye, Frank. All right, so I need to work on my patience. I really do. Search, 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 search. So here we basically need to pop up the new model that we added. We are going to need, actually, we are still going to need a view model for this view. That's important. We're not going to be able to do anything until we add that. I think we have a show pop-up. But we're going to need the model class. So let's add the keyboard model, keyboard view model. I'm going to ultimately copy the pin pop-up view model, or some of it anyways. Oops. It's a child view model base. There's nothing to it really. Add a new class called keyboard view model. And we're going to inherit from child view model base. It's going to be public. And we have to implement all this stuff. Okay. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, and for now, we're not going to do anything when these things are called. Oh, they need, yeah, booleans. So I'm going to have to put return false in all these for now. Oh, wonderful. Hello, Frank. I sincerely doubt you're a PCSX2 dev. Frankly, if you were intelligent enough to be a PCSX2 developer, you'd have my respect, but you would be really, you're not demonstrating your intelligence right now. So you are a poser. I'm 100% sure. You're a poser and a faker, and you're not worthy of this stream. So please leave us alone. I respect C++ developers. I do. I'm more productive because I don't use C++, but it's certainly impressive when people do. Anyways, I don't know what your intention is, Frank. If you really are a PCSX2 developer, I apologize, but I very much doubt you are really a PCSX2 developer. No, it's not on GitHub, Frank. This is not an open source project. You don't. Yeah, clearly he's not a PCSX2 dev. All right, so we have our keyboard view model. So now in, let's say, pop-up, there's a show pop-up method. Here it is. So we can feed it a particular view model. Good. Cool. So we'll just call that. Oops, I needed that main view model. Search. So we're going to say this.show pop-up new keyboard view model, and leave it at that for now, and we might actually get a keyboard on the screen. It probably won't be the right size, but it's a start. I don't need to show you anything, Frank. Frankly. All right, we're built. Oh, that was the wrong monitor, so you guys can't see it. Let me open it up over here. All right, so search. Okay, well, that's a little interesting, but look at that. We have it showing up. I'm not sure why the font is so small. Huh. But hey, look at that. That looks pretty decent. Everything is different than I expected, though. Even the margins are a little bit off. I think I have an idea as to why. I'm not 100% sure, but that's a start. And we can start implementing things like keyboard navigation and all that stuff. And obviously now we're stuck here. We can't get out of it because I haven't implemented any of the input pieces. But not a bad start. The other thing is, I should probably integrate the search directly into this pop-up, I'm thinking. So, yeah. Or at least typing. Not bad. Let's kill this instance. Oh man, here we go. Let's be nice, guys. Yeah, I don't know, Frank, if you're trolling still or not, but I'm not gonna ban you quite yet. Be nice, Code Man. Be nice. Oh my goodness. All right. So that's working. Let's do style stuff later. Let's actually get some of the navigation stuff working, I think. But we need names on these. We're gonna need bindings and stuff before we'll be able to do that. So, we go down to the view. The way I did this in the pin pop-up view is I used borders. Interesting. I don't really want to do that because there's so many of them. And then I used backgrounds. Yeah, okay. I wonder if there's a way to do this without having to like you do it in an array or something, because like I don't want to have to add a property for all these different keys. That would be a pain in the rear. Yeah, I might just have to do that though. That might be the best way to go. So for all of these, we would add bindings for the text and bindings for the backgrounds, and that would, for the most part, cover it. So then what to call the keys? I mean, that's the next trick. So we say binding um, key 1 text. Binding key 2 text. And then of course it's gonna disappear, and we're gonna have to, and we're gonna be changing this up in the code. There's a lot of work here yet, but you know, it is what it is. Hey Jaggerroll, welcome. Yes, the search will be global. We've discussed adding a button to pop it up, or another option might be to well, it's I think we will add this as well. In the letter index, we can add a search at the beginning or the end of that as well. Frank, I know how to do bindings. The issue is, maybe you can solve this for me, Frank. Let's put you on the spot. So what I need to be able to do is uh, use, instead of creating a property for every single key, I want to create an array or a list or something, so that I don't have to add 50 different properties. How do I do that? I don't have an answer for that. Maybe you do. I doubt it though. Oh man. I think this is going south quick, guys. Good thing we only have an hour left on the stream. A list view. Yeah, well, a list view can't really, well, I could format it. The problem is I actually use list views elsewhere, but they're very, very restrictive in WPF. So I don't think a list view would be a good solution for this. Hey David, welcome. QWERTY U. Okay, we're gonna. Oops. Wow, I can't type. ASDF. Now the question is, what do we call these? All these symbols, ones that are likely to change. I think dash will leave there. We're gonna definitely need a dash. I don't know about, we probably won't need that. So we'll want to change that, I would guess. At shows up on the 2 key by default. Dash is an actual key on the keyboard, so we would definitely want the dash. We're going to want to change that. We don't want the at. The period is definitely something we're going to want, though. So we'll go ahead and add that one. Key, period text. Beatlemaniac, I'm not sure how far I'm going to go, to be honest. We're going to add the shift functionality, yes. Is it going to have like a crazy amount of all the funky characters? Probably not. But we'll tweak it, we'll improve it as we go, and I'm going to make it work mostly like a regular keyboard with the shift functionality. So in other words, when you press shift, all the number keys up top will change to the various characters there and all there. So its only function is to search what you need to, or will the keyboard be able to do other things when you pull it up? That's the thing. I don't think it will need to do most of this stuff. It's going to be fairly simple. Eventually, we might want to use this to be able to edit things, like edit the names of games or something like that. But Frank, I'm puzzled, man. How do you know all this stuff about WPF when when you hate it so bad, saying nobody should ever use it? Why do you know so much stuff about it? Unless you're Googling frantically trying to figure things out. I don't get you, buddy. Yeah, that's true, OPAC. It is a pretty crappy emulator, because it isn't one. The worst emulator I never used. Carries my lunch. Yeah, sure. XAML is that's everybody gives XAML a bad rap. I don't buy into that. I love XAML. I honestly, I when I first got into it, I wished they had used HTML and did it more similar to the web stack. But no, XAML rocks because it allows us to have custom themes. And yeah, it is Windows only. That's disappointing. I'll give you that. Um, and but I tell you what, this whole stack, the whole Microsoft stack, is what has allowed us to build this stuff quickly and effectively and all that stuff. As much as I would love to have this on Linux, it would take me, 5 times as long to build this stuff for Linux. And one of the reasons why LaunchBox is so successful is simply because I can pop these new features out like that. My whole community can vouch for that. I'm constantly putting stuff out really quicker than anybody. We're putting new features out faster than anybody else can put these new features out. And that is the reason why we're winning right now. We're winning because I'm putting all these new features out so quickly. Development is just running. And it just, using the higher end languages instead of C++ is what enables us to get there. So, no regrets. Scrolling text in there, sure. That makes sense. I can see that. Thanks, David. Yeah, I'm not sure where the ticket is. I know there's a ticket in there for Big Box. I'm not sure how voted up that is, so we'll see. Yeah, tracked mode is coming for sure. Jagger unfortunately, we're using all the navigation up, down, left, right stuff all over the place already, so we can't really do it that way. Sure, that makes sense, Frank. Although, again, coding in C++ just slows everything down tremendously. And the further on out we get, the less performance benefits you're going to get from C++ over C# or any other .NET language. Yeah, people lose track because they're moving so quick. That's true. Oh, yeah. You'd be surprised how many typos I see for LaunchBox like every single day. I have never made that typo myself. I'll stick to that. But pretty much everybody else does. I'm too anal retentive to make typos like that. I'm just kind of nuts. Is it one of the highest? Okay, well, great. Then we'll definitely get that in there soon. That makes sense. That's wonderful, OPAC. Thank you for that. Okay, underscore. I'm not sure how important underscore. Well, that's going to be in shift with the dash. So we don't need an underscore key. I know that. And shift obviously we're going to need. Um, I think we're going to use shift to be able to lock it, kind of like the Xbox does. I don't know what the PS4 does, but the way the Xbox works is you hit shift once and it's shifted. You hit it twice and it locks. You hit it again and it turns off. So we'll do something like that with the shift. So we don't need a separate caps lock key. And then we have these, which aren't. We haven't decided what we're going to do with that yet. This is space, so we'll binding key space text, although it'll be blank. And I'm not sure what we're going to put in this one yet. And then we have delete. So this is binding key delete text. Would be nice to have a backspace as well. Well, really, I'm thinking, let's make this backspace instead of delete. And maybe this one should be delete right here. Binding key delete text. We'll start with that and see how that goes. And then on the bottom row, we have the arrow keys I want to put here. Up, down, left, right. Binding key up text. And binding key down text. And binding key left text. And binding key right text. And then I'm not sure what we're going to put here yet, or any of these. And then key done text. Alright, so that's a start. We have keys that I haven't filled yet, so not sure what we're going to do with that at this point. Shift. Why is shift still? I definitely need to do shift. All right. All right, guys. Let's keep this a little bit more kid-friendly, if you guys wouldn't mind. Codeman, how hard would this be to implement? Subsystems. Include an option for platforms that have subsystems for both LaunchBox and BigBox. Sure. Yeah. We have something like this planned. And this is actually a duplicate. Or, well, no, it's not. It's not. This is different. I'm sorry. I see what you're doing here. So yeah, like a child system for like add-ons and stuff like that. That makes sense. Not a bad idea, really. But we're already looking at grouping them to like arcade and console, so parent groupings above them, and I think that's more priority. So, and it is even that is going to be a major restructuring. So honestly, this is not going to be a simple. It's not going to be. I should show everybody what this is. It should not be a simple. It's not going to be a simple task to do all this stuff. So not anything that's going to happen anytime soon, to be honest. But I like your idea. I think that makes a lot of sense. It's just a matter of actually getting it done. And then the other thing that's more priority is having system categories above systems so that you can separate out your arcade platforms from your console platforms, etc. Well, thank you, Maniac. I appreciate that. Uh, yeah, to be honest, I'm not that social of a person. I like just sitting in my office alone, doing nothing by myself, but or not doing nothing, but coding by myself. And it does it does wear me out a little to do these sessions twice a week. But at the same time, it's just been so productive. I think I'd be stupid not to. And I do enjoy them. I love talking to you guys. It's just that it does wear me out a little. So I think we'll stick with twice a week. I know some people have encouraged me to do it every day, and I think I would I wouldn't be as productive because I'd be so exhausted. Um, but it is great. It's wonderful. It's one of the best decisions we've made. I don't know. I don't remember who suggested that we actually live stream this stuff, but actually, you know what? I'll credit the idea to Billy from the Game Chasers, because one day I'm a Patreon for them, and I'm a Patreon supporter for Billy and Jay, and what they do with their Patreon subscribers is one thing Billy will do is he'll actually stream the editing process, and I was watching him stream, and I'm like, gee, well, this is fascinating. Why don't I do this with LaunchBox? And it's been so awesome. It's really great. It's productive mostly just because of the ideas that come in from you guys, and it forces me to tackle something like keyboards like this, which I'd put off and put off and put off because it just seems so daunting. You know what I mean? But having you guys here helping me make the decisions and come up with the ideas and pushing me to do some of the more difficult things has been really, really great and really, really productive. So thank you guys for that. It's been awesome. Yeah. And again, I hate to I'm sure I'll piss some people off by saying this, but a lot of this stuff, a lot of the reasons why we're so effective, and it is because I'm taking input from the Lord constantly. The Lord gives me these ideas. I don't come up with all these ideas myself. These ideas are coming from the Lord and from the community, and sometimes both. Sometimes these ideas come from you guys, and you guys get the ideas from the Lord. So honestly, speaking of, we didn't pray today, which is really, I got to stop doing that. But the more I get into this, the more confident I am in the fact that we are winning because of the Lord's work in this project and in my life. So I just want to share that with you guys, and I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear that. So sorry if I'm pissing some people off, but I'm serious. LaunchBox is winning because of the Lord's work in this project. I know, which seems kind of silly. Seems kind of funny because it's emulation, but that's the truth, guys. This project is absolutely just taking off tremendously, and this couldn't have happened without the Lord's work in the project and in my life and in everybody else's lives. So anyways, thank you guys for everything with all this stuff. It's wonderful. A secret toe on the screen. Oh, you guys can see my toe. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I tend to sit kind of funny when I'm working on stuff. All right. Betomaniac. By the way, I noticed something a while ago, but I forget to report it. The alphanumeric restructuring for the A and don't work in the View Series option in Big Box. Ah, really? Interesting. Okay. That's good to know. Sure. I'd appreciate. I know. I'd appreciate it. It's gonna get lost. Can I ask you to put in a ticket for that Betomaniac, so I can not lose it? Can you ban this kid already? What did he say? Did you obfuscate the source code? Yes, I obfuscated the source code. You did. Did you really, Frank? I know you're kidding. Thank you, David. Yeah, I mean, we get that. And I don't care. To be honest with you guys, my faith is more important than the success of LaunchBox to me. But this LaunchBox is successful because of my faith. I'm 100% in that.
Um, so there's no I'm not worried about anything, you know. And if I end up in prison because I'm building software that supports emulation, I end up in prison. I'm not too worried about it. I don't think that's going to happen though. You know why? Because the Lord has this project covered. It's not going to happen. So we're good. You're working for the other side. Oh no, Viewbot. You're working for Satan. No, I'm just kidding. I know what you mean. I get where you're coming from. I'm actually friends with a lot of agnostics and atheists, and I enjoy having conversations because it's good discussion across the board. I hope there's a way to live stream in prison. That's great. I don't see how a front end for apps could land you in prison. I don't either, and it shouldn't. But the way things are headed, you never know. You know, I mean, every day it seems like the country is more corporate fed and corporate led, which is concerning. You know, that's the kind of thing that concerns me. Uh, but I still have enough faith in the United States that I don't believe that's going to happen. That's correct. We don't distribute anything illegal. We don't. We don't do anything illegal, and that's not what I'm trying to say. We don't do anything illegal. I don't encourage illegal activity. I like people to buy their stuff, but of course it's a legal gray area. You know, what am I going to do about that? So, but it is what it is. It's kind of how things work. But thank you guys. Let's see where we're at. So we add the next thing I kind of need is background bindings as well, so we can change the color of things as they're selected. Yeah, I know Trump. I know about all that stuff. I'm very, very concerned and disappointed and actually very worried about both candidates. They're both kind of not kind of. They're both absolute disasters, sadly. That's true. You can't. And there's all kinds of arguments either way. The most promising is simply the fact that Windows can be used for all kinds of piracy. Is it meant for piracy? No. Same thing with LaunchBox. LaunchBox can be used for all kinds of piracy. Is it meant for piracy? No. It's the same. It's the same kind of thing. Emulation does not mean piracy. It's never meant piracy. It's it's about preservation. Um, Obviously, if you look at my games library, I've got all kinds of games. I purchase them all the time. I got all kinds of games on the Wii Virtual Console. I mean, I purchase these games whenever I possibly can. If they're available for purchase, I purchase them, and that's what I encourage. Anyways, enough on that discussion. But the evangelico is like Trump. I don't even know what that means, Frank. I'm sorry. You're welcome, David. I hate DRM too. I'm just like you on that. Yeah, yeah, code man. I know a lot of people do that, and I do that. I do that too. But what I mean when I say that is that it's not like I don't have an arcade collection of all the arcade machines. But if I can buy the stuff, I can't tell you how many collections of how many times I've purchased Galaga, for example. If I can buy the stuff, I do. Like every single console platform I've got a compilation of old arcade games. The amount of times I've purchased Galaga, for example, or Pac-Man, for example, it's ridiculous. I probably purchased them 10, 15 times. So like when they're available for purchase, I'm actually interested in them. I want to see what they've done with them, and I purchase them. But obviously, yeah, I've got a big collection of ROMs, and I don't see anything wrong with that, so long as if I purchase them, if I find them available and I'm playing them, I'm gonna purchase them. That's kind of the thing. I like to spend money on retro games, and if they're available, I do buy them. Anyways, who will buy an NES Mini? I won't, to be honest. Uh, Maybe I should. I don't know, but I've purchased so many of those games in like the Wii Virtual Console and all that stuff already, and I have other ways I'd rather play them than with an NES Mini. If the NES Mini supported the original cartridges, I'd buy it in a heartbeat, but it doesn't. I agree, Ali. Yep, I'm not pushing views on anybody. Absolutely. Stifilus, evangelicals should lean liberal. Christianity is a liberal religion. I don't like saying that Christianity is liberal or conservative, because you have all kinds of different people who are Christians, and Muslims and everything else. It's across the board. Yeah, let's talk more about religion and politics. Yeah, we should probably move on from religion and politics. I don't like religion. Honestly, I've always hated religion. Religion and is very different than having a relationship, for example, with our Creator. Anyways, it's no pointless device. If I want a console, I'll get the original console, not a small box with what essentially is a few ROMs. So I think you mean it is a pointless device. Yeah, exactly. You can't purchase these games legally anymore. Yeah, our viewer count's been doing really good. It's all the drama. The film industry is estimated to have at least 50% of their silent films from the 1920s have lost. But yeah, if we don't preserve our games, it could end up like that too. I agree. That makes a lot of sense. I think I heard that from Pat and Ian recently in the CU podcast. I want the NES Mini controller for my Wii remote. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Aren't evangelicals wannabe Christians? Oh no, here we go. Here we go. Frank, you're crossing boundaries again. No, any Christian who believes that certain sects of Christianity are false or aren't saved or any of that stuff, you're sadly mistaken, and you need to read the Bible. Frankly, that's really scary. Nobody should believe that, because you're basically trying to play God and say that certain Christians aren't going to heaven, and all kinds of crap like that, which is just terrible, awful junk that shouldn't even be allowed. That's true, Vbot. That's a good point. It's a good thing to buy your kids. Yeah, Codeman. We actually advertise on the CU podcast, so I'm surprised you haven't seen that yet. we have a number of there's been probably 6 or 7 videos that we've advertised the LaunchBox Games database, and now Big Box as well. All right, Frank, let's move on from the religion discussion. I don't want to piss anybody off any more than we already have. All right, so next we need the background bindings. Although maybe we should actually implement these properties. Not sure. Let's just keep going. We got to add the backgrounds anyways. Let's do it. So background equals. Now over here in our pin pop-up view, just look at the syntax here, make sure I get it right. Yeah, we're just using a standard binding for the backgrounds. We do already have the background parameter here, so we're going to have to change this up over here. And we were using 333333. So this is going to be binding. But the problem is we're not kind of need to keep them together so I can see what they are. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a search and replace and just get rid of these. Copy that. And we're going to replace that with just the end tag. And that will get rid of them all, and we can add them over here relatively easily. So it's going to be background equals binding key, whatever the key is, background. And I'm going to copy this to all of them. We need a space added to the copy, and then it'll be easy to paste them down across the board. Okay, and this is one we don't have the stuff for yet. Same there. Yeah, we're not going to use the underscore. And the shift, that one's blank. Those are all blank. There it is. So now we just need to actually put in what the value is in here for all these, and that'll be done. Frank, please stop. I know you're not even telling the truth. And if you are, whatever, dude. I'm not trying to make an enemy here with you, Frank, but you're trying my patience. Q W E R T Y U I O P A S D F G H J K L dash Z X C V B N M period shift space delete backspace up down left right and done. That's a good start. So now we can start putting some code behind it. Matt, welcome, Matt. Is there a way to add new images, clear logos to games I've already added to LaunchBox, or need to remove the ROMs and re-add them to get the clear logos, screenshots, audio, video, etc.? Yeah, exactly. OPAC has it. Go to Tools, Download Metadata and Images. Actually, select the games that you want to add the images to, and then go to Tools, Download Metadata and Images. Or yeah, you can do it directly in the folders too, for David. All right, so yeah, Control A. That's important. Or you can use the Shift key to select a group. So now we can go into, I'm going to drag this over here so I can take a look at the list as I go. And we can go into our keyboard view model. and add properties for all these things. Let's add a shell and we'll copy paste it 10 million times. I'm going to put this in a region. Region key text properties and region public string key text. And I think I'm going to make this the simple format for now. And so like that, we're going to copy that 10 million times. I don't even know how many of them I need. It's good enough for now. And we'll start filling them out. 1, 2, 3. This sucks, by the way. I'm sure there might be a better way to do this, but this is the most flexible way to do it. It's just going to be a lot of duplicated code is all. Then we have QWERTY. UIOP. And then we start in the next line. And I am going to run out. A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K, L. Is that it for that line? Then we have dash. Okay, we have ZXC, Z, X. Come on, what's happening here? C, V, B, N, M, and then at this point we drop down and we have period, and shift, and space, delete, backspace. At least this will let us translate this stuff if we do need to translate, like backspace and delete and space and shift and all that stuff. That's a good point. And then after backspace we have up, down, left, right, and done. Up, down, left, right, and done. And get rid of that one. That's a start. Now, of course, we need to fill out what the actual values are, which are going to change depending on whether it's shifted or not. So we'll come back to that. Let's check on the comments. Make sure nothing horrible is going down. Uh-oh. What is going on here? Hey, K-Money, welcome. Code man. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, we're working on adding an on-screen keyboard and a search function to Big Box. Obviously, there's a lot of annoying code to do here, but checker roll. I went through all layouts in both main platform menu and game menu. It seems all directions on the controller is only used on platform view when using a letter text layout. It's the only platform menu layout where you have to jump to letter menu. Perhaps not very useful for that view. Sure. Yeah, you're right. Not everything uses all the directional layouts. But I don't necessarily want to make the directions do something different again either. Hey Moose, welcome. You don't have to do that for every single post. Do you really, OPAC? Is that the way it's working right now? I never intended to make it do that. So you're having to solve the math problems for every single post? Well, poo, I didn't know that. I'll take a look at that. We have had spam issues, so maybe Brad enabled some extra spam stuff or something. I'll take a look. Yeah, I'm still working on those new forums, by the way. Yeah, Codeman, I am a married man. I have 3 kids. So yes, you're feeding my family for sure. David, she did interrupt the live stream to potty. I don't know, Silent Hill. It depends on the joke. I don't host ROMs, Frank. Oh man, that's a horrible joke. Billy, it's a groaner. But yeah. We already got a court jester. Oh man. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, that's good. Uh, all right, so here we go. Now we have to feed in all this text, but of course it's different. So we should switch these up. Sorry. Stupid headset. I'm gonna be excited. When my kids go to school here in whatever it is, like a few weeks, then I'm not gonna have to use this dumb headset anymore, and I can use like a desk mic, and you're not gonna hear everything going on in the background because my kids won't be here; they'll be in school. So that's exciting. I'm tired of using this headset. We want to change this though to be something like I'm going to add a private bool shifted, okay, and then this becomes this dot shifted. It's going to say one thing, otherwise it's going to say another. So I want to do a big search and replace for this with this dot shifted, one thing, otherwise another. All right. And then we can start filling these in, basically. I was pranked too, Codeman. I didn't know he was pranking you. Ali, Jason, is the donation option something you've considered? It'd also be awesome if gift card or something like that could be bought for the license. Since card information is in the license, I can't buy it for someone. Sure. Yeah, I've thought about that. But Ali, I can help you with that. So um, just email me if you want to buy a license for somebody in the meantime. Just send me an email. You probably have my email, but jason@unbrokensoftware.com or jasondavidcarr@gmail.com. Either of them work. Um, but you can just buy it and then email me and let me know, and I will send the license out to somebody else. Especially with you, obviously I trust you, so no big deal. There'll be an extra license sent out in that situation. It'll be mapped to you, but that's no big deal. So, but thank you. I think one thing is that Brad has mentioned, and I think we will end up doing. We're thinking about doing a Patreon, and I've shied away from that forever because it just feels we are a commercial. We're a commercial company. We're a company. We're selling a product, so it almost feels bad to me to accept donations. Um, but it's kind of so it's amazing to me that people want to donate to us, even though we're commercial. So, but I appreciate it. I very much appreciate it. So I'm thinking about doing a Patreon if it's allowed in their terms of service. I'm not sure. Take it easy, Moose. Thanks for joining. Codeman, can we have an option to hide the name it's licensed to? Unfortunately, no. And the reason for that is it is our only form of anti-piracy. Like we've talked about, there is no DRM on purpose. There's no DRM, and so I don't want. And for example, okay, so somebody cracked LaunchBox 5.7, and you know what happened? They put their ugly cracker code, their cracker name in the header for the app, and anybody who pirated it and cracked it using their cracker was annoyed because anytime they opened LaunchBox, it said license to this cracker's name. Okay? Now, that's not to say that somebody couldn't crack it and get rid of that, but they didn't. Um, so for anti-piracy reasons, we want to keep that in the header and not have an option to turn that off because for one thing, if somebody cracked it, it definitely encourages them to go buy an official version because nobody wants to use a software product that has license to cracker in the header of the app. So that's an anti-piracy mechanism, um, and that's the reason why that's there. That's the only thing we do to help and try combat piracy, other than obfuscation and trying to make it impossible to crack. Which, by the way, to this day, as far as I know, it has not been cracked since 5.7, since we obfuscated that stuff. So praise the Lord for that. I'm praying that continues. But yeah, I apologize for that. If you are a YouTuber and you don't want your actual name out there, I can make an exception and send you a new license with your code name, your YouTube channel name. However, I am careful to do that, and I want you to prove to me that it is your public name, because I don't want somebody putting a random name on the license and then handing it out to 10,000 people. So that's where I stand with that stuff these days. Beatlemaniac, you should set up a donations page or a Patreon. You'd be surprised how many people want to throw money at you. Yeah, I'm like that's what I've been talking about. I think a Patreon might be a good idea. It makes me feel dirty to try and accept donations from people when I'm taking their money already for the product. But anyways, who are you calling a cracker? Well, I mean, yeah, never mind. You guys know what I'm saying. Hey, Grandpa. Yeah, I know. I put up with it only if it's a rich. It took me a second to catch that one, Grandpa, but I got it. Oh man. Yeah, I know. I know some people only give their first names. I don't like that very much, but there's nothing I can do about that at this point. So, I'm throwing a request out here. Sort by and big box may be accessible from all views.
Start by release date and list view starts by month, day, and year. Yeah, yeah, I do know that, Jiggerroll. That's definitely something I need to fix. Check to see if I'm not sure if there's a ticket in there for that. If not, we should definitely add it. Yeah, Stipulis. Yeah, we'll look into adding a Patreon here soon, for sure. Thank you guys. I already do this full time, Code Man. I don't do the streaming full time, but I do the coding full time. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. I'm not arguing with you on that, Syphilis. I appreciate that. Um, I just wanted to explain why I've held off for so long on that, but I've been convinced otherwise recently, and I appreciate that. Um, so and donations. Here's the thing. Do I need donations right now in order to feed my family? No, I don't. We're doing quite well. My salary is just fine as is with the purchases. But what donations, increasing the profits would give us is the option to hire some more people. Growing the company financially is going to grow our the people we hire. It's going to grow, possibly allow us to maybe the next step really is to hire another developer. That's really where I'd love to go eventually, but we're pretty far off from that because it's very expensive to hire another developer. So that's the kind of things that, I mean, once LaunchBox starts making more money, that's where we're going to go next. It's just going to take a long time before we can get there. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Wow, it is 12:30. All right. Well, this is going to be boring for a while, anyways. This coding this keyboard stuff. It's been a great session, though. I appreciate all the feedback and all the generosity that you guys have for this project. Really appreciate it. Love working with you guys. This is another great thing we got done today that I never envisioned that we would do today. Didn't expect to get this far on a keyboard, especially from scratch. So thanks again, and I will see you guys. Well, I'll have my LaunchBox Developer Sessions video out tomorrow, hopefully, with some more news. By the way, okay, before I go, how much do you guys appreciate that LaunchBox Developer Sessions video? If there's anything in my weekly schedule I'd like to get rid of, honestly, it would be the LaunchBox Developer Sessions videos. They're fun, yes, but I don't feel like they're absolutely necessary. And we've gotten to the point where like we're not getting very many questions back and forth anymore. So I'm wondering, what if we had Kirsten, for example, do those news sessions instead of myself? She's going to be a lot more fun than I am, that's for sure. So if we had her do that stuff, would anybody be heartbroken? That's kind of what I want to hear before we get off the stream. Yeah, I am saving it, absolutely. Saving the money, Stifless. I've got a good savings worked up. Well, and running a company, you have to have savings. I've got a company savings worked up so that if like something bad happens, I can still pay my contractors, because otherwise we're in trouble. So absolutely, I am building up savings. Beatlemania, can we make sorting types default for certain views? Sure. I think there is a ticket for that already. Yeah, yeah. When we get to that, like I said, depends on. Well, who knows? I might just do it someday in a stream, like I did the menu. Or the keyboard, but whatever. Yeah, it's all votes on Bitbucket ideally. Does my wife play games? Yes, but not as much as I would like her to. She doesn't play that many video games, to be honest. Thank you, BRB. Codeman, are you saying let Kirsten do it? Because she's a girl. Let Kirsten do the LaunchBox Developer Sessions. You like them, sure. I do cover everything already. So basically, the LaunchBox Developer Sessions are
It's good to get it in video format for sure, but I do cover everything already. There's very little, very rarely do I cover anything new that I haven't announced before in the developer sessions. Okay, well, that's good to know. Great. I can't wait to see it working later in beta. Nice hanging out with you guys today. Yeah, absolutely, DOS76. Thank you. I only watch it for the news. I think Kirsten could do that as well. Cool. All right. Well, great. How about all three of you? Yeah, agreed. More development time for me is a plus, and that's what I enjoy the most. So that's a win all the way around. Gotcha. Yeah, I won't be dropping the stream no matter what, but yes. Awesome. Well, that's great. I'm not getting any negative feedback there at all. That's awesome. Then we will switch that over to Kirsten as soon as we can. I have her I got her a camera and everything, all that stuff, so she's hooked up and ready to go. We just gotta get her going with it. So I'll probably do it for this week, and then maybe next week we'll start Kirsten on that stuff. Thank you, Static Fade. Kirsten does not work full time for me, no, and neither does Brad. They're both part time. Unfortunately, we're nowhere near getting them full time hours financially. I would love to give them full time hours. I really would. But that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be able to do when as the income increases, and it is increasing right now. It very much is. It's just that we're slowly doing this, doing it safely, giving them more hours so that you know, so that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot and end up screwing ourselves over or anything like that financially. I think you'll get more views since Kirsten is a girl. Well, that is part of my logic, David. I agree with you. Absolutely. A beta change part would be great. Ah, sure. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. And I mean, I cover that stuff. I usually do cover all the beta changes. Codeman, yeah, I get you. There's honestly, I would love to hire some of you guys. Obviously I already did. I hired Brad way back when. Um, it's just, mapping skills and all that stuff. Yeah, he is a beast on the forums. Or he has been. We are refocusing Brad a bit though. Brad is going to be focusing more on videos, less on the forums. Um, Patreon could help pay them, absolutely. The new forums are not that far, I will admit. I'm building them from scratch. Yes, I'm still looking for a better solution though, because I'm putting so much time into LaunchBox and Big Box. I'm afraid the new forums are going to be pushed out way too long. That's another thing. I am currently looking into the possibility of hiring somebody to build us some good forums, because my time is stretched pretty thin. So, I spend way more than full time in development for LaunchBox right now. So, trying to get added time to work on the forums has been difficult. I will admit. So, as much as I'd like to get that done right away, I keep ending up pushing it off, unfortunately. So, I'm thinking maybe I can hire somebody to get it done. Yeah, I believe he is. That's still planned, David. Yep. Although Emu Movies is also working on 1080p intro videos as well. Circo is. So that's another thing to note. There's a thread out there somewhere with a couple examples, and they're awesome. Yeah, the forum stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. If we can get forums custom built for us, we can do all kinds of awesome stuff. I'm just not there yet. So yes, that's planned, as far as like the online friends list and stuff. Yes, yes. Thank you, OPAC, for reminding me on that. I'll take a look at that right after the stream here. Yeah, absolutely. However, Codeman, Simply Austin. I mean, I work with Simply Austin all the time. I'm pretty sure he's not interested in being hired. I would have hired him a long time ago, if I thought he was interested. He's adamant about working on his own. He doesn't want to be hired. As a matter of fact, I already asked him about that. I asked him about that a long time ago. So Austin doesn't want. He wants to be able to do this on his own, and I don't blame him. He wants the freedom. He wants to be honest with the community and not be associated with any particular front end. So that's not something he's interested in. Circo is good at setting up forums. Yes, that's true. That's a good thought. Although Circo is also swamped, just like I am. So I don't know. Yeah, he's working on a rocket launcher tutorial for us right now. System intro videos, like the Emu Movies platform videos. Anyways, I do got to get off the call, guys. Or off the call. I keep saying that. Off the stream. So have a good one, guys, and I'll talk to you on Monday. We will continue our development discussions. Take it easy. Monday at 9:30 a.m. PST, by the way.